stay quiet a moment so you can hear the class telling everybody hello and that we're eagerly waiting for everybody to be back in class again. Quiet, please. Today we are working on doubling and halving. Now look at the way this word is spelled right here. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
How do you spell the word half? Raise your hand. How do you spell the word half? I saw Grace's hand first.
H-A-L-F.
Okay. H-A-L-F. What happened to our F? Trevor. It's a V. Why do we do that? Because the English language is weird. How many agree with that? Yeah, I agree with it too. Okay, but we do. How many of you do know the rule that if it ends in an F and we have to add some things, we change it to a V? There's some people that know that rule. Good. Okay, so we're going to continue because this really isn't a grammar lesson. I just took a moment anyway. So today, people, we're working on doubling and halving, and we're doing it as a problem string. That's why we need our notebooks. So you have your notebooks. Those of us at home, pause the video while you get your notebook ready. The kids in class, they are going to be writing this as well. I don't want to leave the screen, so it's going to be some dead silence here while everybody's writing this. So remember, we put the date on top, we put the title, then I write the word problem way over in the margin. And yesterday we talked about margins and how the margin is to the left of that line. Normally we don't write in the margin, but we have to so we have enough room. It does. So if you haven't figured this out already, our I can statement for today is I can use doubling and halving to help solve multiplication problems. And actually, you guys have been doing this. And some of you have discovered you've been doing this. Does most everybody have this written down? Remember, you have to have your title on this so that way if you're paging back to see how it works, you can find it. So this is what's happening today. I see most of you are ready and most of you followed directions, but not quite everyone did. Okay, so you are going to work on multiplication problem string. And it's not going to take too long. I'm going to watch the time so that we may get all the way through it or we may not. But we're starting out with the problem of, let's see, I always use two different colors. So I guess today it's purple and blue. Although now I lost my purple. There it is. And we're starting out with the multiplication problem of 4 times 6. I know a lot of you already know what 4 times 6 is. So what I did, okay, Ethan, this is new for you. So don't write it in marker. Please don't write it in marker. The only reason I write it in marker is so that you guys can see it. Now, Ethan, what we do, that once we see how much space this takes up on the side, then we draw another line down. Now, if you're wondering how to draw a straight line, you just hold your pencil and you pull your arm towards you and you're going to draw a straighter line. Your whole body will move. That'll help you with a straighter line. So do that. And now I've been talking about this word called, or this phrase called area model. So we're kind of using area model today. This isn't grid paper, but we do have lines on it. And our factors are 4 and 6, 4 groups of 6 or 6 groups of 4. Since I'm working with this, now remember I tell you how to do this. I'm going to need room to write on top, so I'm going to skip one line. Since I have a 4, I'm going to go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my line is that long. And I'm going to write the 4. Seeing about how long that line is, I know that the line on top's got to be a little bit bigger than that because 6 is larger than 4. I'm going to put my 6 on top. And now I'm going to finish off this rectangle. Ethan, we're going to be throwing a lot of vocabulary at you today. So these two numbers over here are the factors. We're putting them around a rectangle, so it's called the dimensions. Which dimensions are factors? Have you figured that out already?
Yep.
Okay, good. And working on this, we're working on the 4 times 6 equals. What do we know 4 times 6 is, everybody?
24.
24. So I know that one's 24. That's all the more we're doing on that, so we're going to draw a line across. And then we're going to move on to our next one. In your margin, this time you're going to write 8 times 6. Now, before you go ahead doing anything over here, how many of you already, knowing that what we're talking about, have checked out our old factors? Did anybody notice anything from the new set of factors to the old set of factors?
Yes.
How many of you have noticed it? If you haven't noticed it, look at them. Oh, more hands are going in the air. Oh, a lot more hands are going in the air. Okay, so we're seeing this. Some of you already know the answer. Please don't spoil it for anyone else. We're going to continue to draw this. We're going to go down 8 this time. I'm going to leave one space at the top so I have room to write. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. And did you notice how I made it in a line? So it's kind of continuing. I'm guessing 6 is about this long. So notice how I made it about as big as the one above it. I'm writing my 8 and my 6. Since we're looking for the area, I'm going to make it a rectangle. We know the properties of a rectangle where the opposite sides are the same length. The opposite sides are the same length. And since we know the properties of a rectangle, we don't have to write those extra numbers. However, I'm going to do something. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to draw a line in the middle of this. Count down and do that. And and so how long is this one? Raise your hand. Luke, how long is the bottom one? 4. Did we do a 4 times 6 already?
Yes.
What is 4 times 6?
25.
Okay, so we're going to write 20. This one is 24 and this one is 24. So we know that 24 plus 24 is 48. So what is 6 times 8, everybody?
40.
What's 8 times 6?
48.
6 times 8?
48.
48 divided by 6. 48. Thank you. 48 divided by 8.
6.
Okay. We're going to put one more on this page.
Very big one.
This time, I'm going to write 8 times 3. So I need to count down 8. I'm going to leave one space up here for writing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mine goes all the way to the bottom of my paper.
Mine. I don't fit. How much?
Okay. So this is 8. What do you think the top is going to be? I heard somebody say it. It's 3. So I'm going to make it about half as big as what's over here.
I'm doing
Oh goodness, I forgot to use my extra colors. And then I'm going to just draw this there so I can see that. Does anybody know what 3 times 8 is? Okay, shout it out, everyone. Okay, so 3 times 8 is 24. What's 8 times 3? What's 3 times 8? What's 8 times 6?
48.
What? 48. I snuck that in, didn't I? Okay. Now, how many of you have a good idea of what we're going to do next? Looking at the numbers that we have, what do you think we're going to do in this space over here? We just multiplied 8 times 3.
8 times 4?
So what do you think we might possibly multiply this next time?
8 times 4. 8 times 8.
Okay, so when we looked at this one, we went from 4 times 6 to 8 times 6. So this one doubled. What do you think we're going to write over here? David?
16 times 9.
Good try. You did double something.
Which you tripled the other.
What about doubling this one?
16.
Okay, so this time we're going to do 6 times 8. I'm going to do something right here, though. I'm going to draw a little arrow. I'm going to draw a little arrow.
We already did 6 times 8.
I know. So I'm going to write the word so, dot, dot, dot.
Do we have to do that? Right?
I would. And now we're going to do the 8 times 3 and the 8 times 3.
Wait, 8 times 3?
What is, so we have the 8, we have the 3, we have the 3. What is 3 plus 3? 6. What is 8 times 3? 24. And what is this one? 8 times, what's the answer? 24.
48.
So we know that putting these together are 48. So we had, if you notice, this box and this box are pretty much the same size. It's just we have the lines going in the opposite direction. When we look at our problems, we doubled this factor. We doubled 4 to make 8. Over here, we have 8 times 6. Instead of doubling this factor, we doubled that factor. Did you notice what happens when you double one of the factors? What happens to the product?
It changes.
It does change by what? It doubles. So when you double one of the factors, it doubles the product. Okay? It is time for us to turn the page. We're going to make a new one. I have to go to this because otherwise you start seeing all these. When I go like this, it starts getting messy. So I just go to a new page. You guys just go to your next empty page. And I am starting with 8 times 6. Eight times 6. And we just did the 8, well, actually, because the 8 times 6 was on the other page. Let's write that. Okay, then draw your line. Everybody sees that?
What do we have?
People at home, if you have to pause the video to catch up with us, that's great. Okay, so we're going to continue doing this. We did the 8 times 6. some of you have your pages open like this and you can see it really well. So here's our 8 times 6, our 8 times 6. This time, we're going to have a new problem. This problem is called 4 times 12. So make certain you have 4 times 12 written down. Now remember how I've been kind of counting things out so that it keeps it even for me. I'm going to skip 2 lines here, people. So I'm going to go down 2 lines before I start counting to go down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now 12 is like 3 times bigger than that. How do I know that 12 is 3 times bigger than 4? Okay, got 2 hands in the air. Okay, Luke, what you think?
Because 4 times 3 is 12.
What?
Because
4 times 3 is 12. So yeah, 4 is, okay, so 12 is 3 times bigger than 4. So it's about that big, and then about that big, and about that big. I took a guess. So put your 4 right here. Not all of us know 4 times 12. How many of you do know 4 times 12? Okay, so we've got about half the class that knows 4 times 12, but not all the class knows 4 times 12. So I am going to think about how can I distribute 12 into its tens and ones. How can I distribute 12 into its tens and ones? Look how I put those little, I went in an old school that I was in. It's like we're making we called it a math mountain, but we're not, you don't do that here. Okay, so I saw a hand in the air. Was it Tucker's hand that was over there that could tell me the tens and the ones? Really fast. No? Who can tell me how to divide 12 into tens and ones? Grace.
1, 10, 2, 1.
We have a 10 plus what? 2. How many of you think that that's a lot easier to work with? How many of you think that if we put a 10 here and we put the 2 over here, oh, let's see. Now that box is going to be kind of small over here. So it's probably about, oh, I just drew it crooked. That's okay. So I'm going to put my plus sign here because I know that this one and this one make 12. So how many of you know what 10 times 4 is? That's 4 groups of 10. Let's count by tens, everybody. Here we go. 10. Wait. Not everybody knows how to do this, so we're going to use our fingers. Ready? 10, 20, 30, 40. So we know this is 40 because 10 times 4 is 40. How do we know what to multiply on this side?
2 times 4.
How do we know what number goes on this side? Ethan, are you paying attention? What number goes over here? We don't have any number because we just did 4 times 10. Now we got to do 2 times something. What is the number we multiply by? David.
4.
How do you know that?
Because the rows go down by 4.
We have 4 rows down. This is a rectangle. However long this side is, this side is. What is 2 times 4, everybody? 8. Remember, now we had to add these 2 together to get our factor. Please pay attention to this. We had to add this one and this one together to get this factor. The 12 comes from over here. So if we added those 2 together, we have to add our 2 products together. This is a partial product and this is a partial product. So we need to do 40 from this side plus 8 from this side, and that equals what, everybody? 48. Oh, well, look at that. 8 times 6 is 48.
Yeah.
Look at the numbers 4 and 12. What can you see? Okay, I'm giving people think time right now. Look at the 8 and the 6. Look at the 4 and the 12. What did you see happen? Okay, Akaya, what did you notice?
4 is half of 8, and 6 to 6 equals 12.
Okay, she noticed that there is a relationship. She noticed that half of 8 is 4, but then this one, we didn't go with half of 6. We doubled 6. So one side we doubled and one side we cut in half, and we still got the same type of answers. We still have a 48. So if we look at this, it sure looks different than that, doesn't it? This looks different than that. Okay. I think we have time for one more.
Okay.
That's pretty amazing.
Come on.
Last year we didn't get that far. So with this time we're going to do 2 times 24.
What do you mean last year?
I'm using last year's notebook to see how far we got last year, and we didn't get that far. Nope.
I don't the answer. Your question.
We didn't get this far. We ran out of class time. Who knows what was going on? You know how sometimes we have short class. Okay, so now how many of you are looking at the relationship between this set of factors and this set of factors? I'm going to write on the bottom, what is the relationship? Now, I hope that I didn't mess myself up, because I'm going to have 12. Did you notice that we just don't have room on our page to do it this way? Okay, so this is going to be kind of small. So let's do 2. Oh, goodness sakes. How many of you are thinking that you can just do 24 plus 24? You could do just 24 plus 24. I want you to think about 24 in its tens and ones. If we were going to put 24 in our tens and ones, remember this chart? How many tens do I have? Everybody see this chart? How many tens do I have? Everybody's so busy writing, they're not able to answer. So looking at this, how many tens do I have? Akaya?
2.
I have 2. Okay, so 2 tens equals what? 20. I'm going to put, this is scary. Instead of doing 10 plus 10, I'm going to just write 20. And then I'm going to put what over here? Somebody said it. Say it louder. 4. I know I have to add these together because my factor is 24. It isn't just 20 and it isn't just 4. It's 24. Does anybody know what 2 groups of 20 is? 20 plus 20, 20 times 2. Shout it out. It is 40. How do I know what to multiply to get this box? Ethan, paying attention? How do I know what to multiply to get this box? Luke.
2 times 4.
2 times 4 because we have a 4 here, and what goes on this side? It is a 2 because there's a 2 on this side. 2 times 4 is what, everybody? Well, look at this. We have a 40 and we have an 8 in the box above us. Look at that. How about that? 40 plus 8 equals 48. If we do it doubling style, which everybody should now know that if you have a number times 2, you can do this. Everybody point your nose at the board. Nose is at the board. If you have a number times 2, you can do this. Or you could do this. 4 and 4 is 8. 2 and 2 is 20 plus 20 is 40. So here we go. Look at that. What happened between this and this? Sorry, I moved it. What happened between this one and this one? Oh my goodness, we got some excited hands out there. I'm going to draw a stick. I bet a bunch of you could explain this. But you can say no thank you if you want to. Anna, thank you or no thank you? No thank you. Okay. Adrian, look at the 4, look at the 2, look at the 12, look at the 24. What happened?
7.
What happened to the 4 that it changed into a 2?
Just minus 2.
We cut it in. We cut it in half. Now look at the 12 and it changed to a 24. What did we do? We didn't cut it in half. We doubled it. Akaya wanted to say that really bad. And when we doubled, now notice how when we cut one of these in half and we doubled it, we still have the same product. For some of you, you will never, ever, ever use this strategy. For others of you, you're going to try to work it so that it's easier to multiply. And that's fine. Now on this next page, I want you to do something. You're going to write practice. Because I know all of you now know how to do a multiplication problem that is times 2. So let's start with 21 times 2. It's times 2, so that means it is doubled. How many of you were able to do this in your head, and how many of you are doing it as an addition problem? If you're doing it as an addition problem, I want to see who's doing it that way. Thank you. There's a few of you that are. So Millie, if it's an addition problem, how are we setting it up?
21 plus 21.
Yes, 21 plus 21. If your brain doesn't like to see it that way, you can put it like this. Because we have two 21s. See, right here it says there's 2 of them. Times 2 means that there's 2 21s. How many of you are busy adding 21 plus 21? How many of you have finished because I've talked long enough so you have it done? Oh, not every hand is up. I'm sad. Okay, what is 2 times 21, people? 42. Let's practice again. This time we're going to do 34 times 2. How can you set it up? 2 different ways. Akaya.
34 plus 34.
You can set it up as 34 plus 34. Some of you might be thinking of it as 30 plus 4, and you're figuring it out that way. 30 times 2 and 4 times 2. Have I talked long enough that you've all figured it out?
Yes.
Okay, so 34 plus 34 is what?
68.
34 times 2 is what?
68.
Well, my goodness, look at that. It worked out well. I think that you guys need one more practice at this. This time we need a larger number.
100 plus 100.
How about 63 times 2?
Yes.
Okay, so what is 63 times 2? What are the 2 ways you can set it up? Oh, they're so busy working. Some of you might be thinking of it as 60 plus 3, so that you can do 60 times 2 and 3 times 2. Some of you might be thinking of it like this. And by now, I think I've talked long enough that most of you have the answer.
Yes.
So what is 63 plus 63?
126.
Okay, how many of you are feeling pretty good about yourself on this? Okay, good. Now I know that like Luke has always talked about doing it this way. There's a few other people that have always talked about doing it this way. 60 times 2 is what, Luke? 120. 3 times 2 is 6. You add those up, you have 126. And you see how these 2 are the same. Okay. You did a good job with this. I hope that you remember what we're doing with these. Think about where our factors come from. You did get farther than the class last year. Then again, I had a class this year to help teach multiplication, so I'm hoping that that's helping you guys as well.
Class this year?
I have to take classes. I took a class this summer.
Oh, I get what you mean.
Okay, so what it's designed to do is to try to help students better understand what multiplication is. So this is what you have to do next. You will have 15 minutes now. Then when you get back from music, you will have an extra 10 minutes to work on this,
25 minutes.
or most of you will be finished, or you will have the opportunity to do a workplace or to read quietly. I can't have you color because coloring for some people is distracting. Looking at this, lots of you get scared when there's these boxes. I want you to look at this. People at home, you're going to be doing this test as well. Notice down here we have 6 times something equals something. They sure didn't give us enough information. I'm going to zoom in on this so you can see it better. Your job is to fill in these blanks. When we see the 60, that means we did this times something here to get to 60. There's a 0. Hint, hint. Think about what we were doing when I was showing you the area model. Hint, hint. Then we have this 3. Oh, there's nothing here. What do we multiply by to figure out what goes in that box? Shh. And then we need to have this factor. They didn't give us this factor. Where do we find the factor that's missing?
In the box above.
Shh. Be very careful. This one oh my goodness, look at that. It's a 2-digit number times a 2-digit number. How do I know that? They broke this apart. So it's going to be something times something equals 100. You guys should know that. Shh. And then something times something gives us 50. And so that helps us get this figured out. Look at this skinny little one. Something times something makes 10. Shh. Something times something makes 5. Thank you. Shh. But now 4th graders tend to forget this part right here. What is the total? What are the factors? We have to write the factors and the totals. Okay, we have a ratio table. Look at our ratio table. It tells us what we're counting by. What are we counting by, everyone? 9s. Oh my goodness, look at the way they count. They go 1, 2, something, 10. They sure skipped a lot. 1, 2, skip a few, get to 10.
Yeah.
Think about how you're counting. Think about how the ratio table works. Think about how the ratio table works as a multiplication table. Okay, 4th graders, can you read? Can you read?
Yes.
What does this say? True or false? So, what do you think you have to put in this blank?
True or false?
True or false? Don't put a number, it's true or false. What do you think you have to put in that blank? True or false? Okay, 4th graders, does this one say true or false?
Yes.
Oh.
It does not say true or false. So that means you have to put a number in this blank and a number in that blank. And this is when we were playing around with the associative property. So you're going to have to try to figure out how this works.
Yay.
How can this possibly work? This one's kind of tough. And then this one, we're playing around with the associative property again. How does this work?
We'll continue to the next page.
Continue to the next page. Now you are going to show your work. And it says here, Max says he can solve 12 by 14 by doing 10 by 14 and 2 by 14.
Yes.
Do you agree or disagree? You have to say you agree or you disagree.
And then
Some people, I will accept if you circle agree or disagree, because then you've made a decision. But then there's this 3-letter word that 4th graders don't like. Why? When you answer the why, it helps me understand how well you know this process. If you don't tell me why, I am going to guess that you don't understand. Plus, you get points for showing your work. Now we have Ashley. Please be aware. Ashley has a bedroom and her brother has a bedroom. How many bedrooms is that? Put your fingers in the air. How many bedrooms is that? Okay, so does that give you an idea already of what you're going to have to do?
Yep.
It says Ashley's room is 11 by 16 feet. Her brother's room is 13 feet by 14 feet. Whose room has more square feet? We're looking for area. Show your thinking using numbers, labeled sketches, or words. How many of you don't understand what a sketch is? This is a sketch. Remember when Akaya showed us that really nice drawing when she was figuring out the area for piggies or chickens? I don't remember what you guys had, but she had a really nice drawing. It helped her figure it out. And it also says, though, whose room is bigger? That means if you just show how to do the work and you don't tell me whose room is bigger, you didn't answer the question. Answer the question. So like I said, you will have, now it's down to 10 minutes, and then you will have 15 minutes after music. Please do not interfere with people testing around you. I'm going to turn this over to where I have true and false circled, because that's what fourth graders tend to forget, right there. For some of you, taking a test is really, really scary. And if you blank out on the first question, go find a different one to work on and then go back to the first question. Yes?
Can we, on some of these, can we put I pay?
Nope, because we have covered everything on this test. As a matter of fact, a bunch of it was covered today. All of those problem strings are covered today, although many of you need more practice than just once. Which is why I really wanted to show the area model when we did it the other day. Unfortunately, you guys didn't get exposed to this last year because, well, school got over.
It usually doesn't. It usually doesn't work.
Okay, so you may begin. Put your name on it so I know who you are. Arrange your book so that nobody's peeking at your work. There you go.
What is mine?
Okay, so if you have a folder, take your stuff off the ones following the papers. He doesn't have enough. Ethan has one. Here you go. This will help. Ethan.
I don't like this one.
Then move on to a different one.
I like this one.
Do a different one and come back. Some of you spend too much time fretting over one you don't know. Find the ones you know and then come back. It's a test taking strategy.